Hello everyone, I'm Kayla, the maker and creator behind Crochet by Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you all how to make a chunky blanket. It is a very easy beginner project. It is kind of big, but it is so easy to do. You don't even need a hook, you just use your hands. I do suggest getting your yarn while it's on sale though. Like the week, if you get it at Hobby Lobby, like I got my yarn, their yarn sale week. Or pay attention to the sales at your craft store because the yarn can get a little expensive. You will need 7 or 8 balls depending on how big you want to make your blanket. So I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. So let's get started.
So all you are going to need to make this chunky knit blanket is some chunky blanket yarn. I don't have a very tall camera angle, so you can't see the full ball, but these balls are pretty big. They're the Yarn Bee Eternal Bliss, and this is in light gray. This is my favorite yarn to make the chunky blankets out of, just because it's very comfortable, and Hobby Lobby has 30% off yarn every other week, so it makes your cost a little lower. I like to make my blankets with about 6 to 7 balls of this yarn, which if the yarn is not on sale, it can be pretty costly because the balls are $7.99. So to start off, we are going to start just how we would if we were actually crocheting, but we're doing it all with our hands. So we're going to make a slip knot. Don't pull it super tight though. And then we are going to chain, but using our hands. I like to do about 40 chains, but for the sake of fitting it all into the video, for right now, I'm just going to make a smaller example. So you can, once I finish mine, you can continue on with your chain. So I am just going to stick my fingers in the hole, grab the yarn, pull it through. Grab the yarn, pull it through. I am doing the smaller example size just for this portion, but I will, with my actual large blanket, show you how you complete it. So I'm just going to keep going. Stick your fingers through the hole, grab the yarn, pull it through. Make sure your chains are a little bit looser, but not too loose, because if you do too loose, it's going to be very holey. And some people do like the look of like when it has a bunch of holes in it, but personally, I do not like that. So I'm going to end my chain right here, and then I'm going to make one more chain, but while I'm doing this chain, I'm going to angle it upwards, pull it through. So this is the first stitch of my first row. So now it's going to be like knitting, where you have loops. Now going into the next chain, I'm going to stick my fingers through the top loop of it, because you have your side of loops like this, and then you have where you go into just one side. I'm going to stick my fingers in there, and I'm going to get my yarn a little looser first. And then I'll stick my fingers through, grab the yarn, and just loop it through. And during the process of this blanket, you will always have open and loose loops. Now you can make these loops larger, smaller. I like to make them this size or a little bit smaller, to not have too tight of a blanket and not to have too loose of a blanket. Now I'm going to go into the next chain and pull through. Moving right along. Fix my camera angle slightly. And then the next chain, pull it through, and you'll just continue doing this all the way across the length of your chain. So you definitely do have to be careful when making a blanket like this that you do not make them too small, because if you set it aside, you go to something else, a stitch could easily slip through. It is an easy fix, but if it undoes itself too much a few rows back, it is harder to fix. So I am on my last chain to go through. I'm going to go through it real quick. And the first row is done. Gonna unwind my yarn more, and then I will show you how to go on to the next row. So this was our last stitch, and now we're gonna go back through it, grab the yarn, and loop it through. So there is the chain, and then the first row complete. I don't like to make my end of the row loop very large because sometimes it can make the end look messier. So I make all the other ones just a little bit bigger, but know that it's noticeable once the blanket is complete. So continuing along, just going the other way. Finger in the loop now instead of a chain. Yarn through the back, pull through. Loop, yarn in the back, pull through. Loop, yarn in the back, pull through. These blankets can be very quick, so I believe that they are a very good Christmas present. And there's a bunch of different types of this chunky yarn that you can use. There are some yarns that are a little bit thinner that they pre-have all the loops like this, and you can just thread the loops through each other to do it. But that yarn is thinner. It's about a size 5, where this is a size 7 yarn. So it would take much longer, and I'm not sure about the price on that type of yarn, but I know that Bernat also has a blanket yarn about this thick, and I'm sure there are many other options, but this is the only one this thick I've tried, and it is my favorite. They also have a bunch of color options, and my Hobby Lobby is always stocked up on them. There's a beautiful sage color, there's light pink, there's a purple, there's a mustard. There's so many options to choose from that you can find for anyone to give the blanket to. So now I have this right here complete, and I am going to move on to showing you all how you would finish the blanket, because all you're going to be doing the whole rest of the way is you're just going to go back and forth, doing the same thing, threading it through the loop all the way, and then doing it again and again and again. So I'll see you later. After a very long time of doing this back and forth process, you should have a very big blanket. And now I'm going to show you how to end your blanket. So I suggest you leave a lot left for this. I left a ton. I left what took me about 1.5 to 2 normal rows. It's just an estimate, but I wouldn't end it anywhere where you could be questioning whether you have enough. So in order to end it, you are going to start it off like a normal row. Pull your yarn through the loop, making it a little bit looser than normal. Pull your yarn through the loop, a little looser than normal. Then hand through the first loop, grab the second loop, and pull it through. So it's gonna create this stitch along the top. So now we're gonna go to the next loop, put our yarn through, pull a little looser, because if we're doing this and we're making it tight, it is going to make the blanket cinch up real tight at the bottom, and it is not as pleasing to look at when it's like that. So if you have it a little looser, it is not going to cinch up like that. So keep going, pull it through, then loop the 2 loops together, and then again go to the next loop, through, loop the loops together. Now sometimes they can get a little too loose. See, that one is almost a little bit too loose, so I'm just gonna go back and tighten it a bit. And then moving to the next one again, looping yarn through like normal, and then looping the 2 together to create a nice and pretty stitched edge. So I will be back when I'm done. So now this top is completed and I sewed in all the ends. So that is how you make your own chunky knit blanket. I hope you found this tutorial easy.
I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. It is a super easy and fun make, so I'm hoping all of you love your blankets that you made. Be sure to post them on Instagram or Facebook and tag me at crochet_by_Kayla on Instagram and crochet_by_Kayla7 on Facebook. Or you can post it on TikTok or any other social media that is linked down below my link tree. You can find everything in there, including my written patterns, so my Etsy, my TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, everything. I hope you all enjoyed this. See you next time.